the number one decision that women in leadership keep doing that is keeping them stuck, that is really delaying your career and what it's really costing you. So I want to paint the picture for you. If you're sitting on an idea, maybe you have a strategy like, hey, this would really work really well, or you got a decision that needs to be made, but you're sitting on it thinking, let me get a little bit more clarity on this. Or maybe it's like, well, I think the next quarter would be better timing. Or once I get more data, I'll have something to say that's relevant. Well, then this live is going to be for you today because you think, and I've been there, I'll be the first to admit it. This is something that always was my kind of fallback position of I needed to figure out, I need to get more information before I could move forward, before I could make a decision, before I could lead. But when you're thinking that the problem is the information that you have, it's not. Because that isn't the problem. It's not a lack of information. It is a fear. It's a fear of being wrong. It's a fear of being judged. It's a fear of sounding like you're not ready enough or strategic enough yet. And especially if you're getting that feedback of like, well, you're a great person to execute. You're a great doer. You're a really reliable, leader, but you're missing the strategic piece. Here's the thing. Big truth is no one gets promoted for being the best at overthinking. It's like you're trying to keep solving the puzzle, but you haven't even taken the puzzle out of the box yet. So how are you going to solve it unless you start to put the pieces on the table and start testing which pieces go together? Now, this is keeping you all invisible. All that overthinking, all that delay, that constant search for more information is what happens is you tend to delay your decisions. It might be, and I've had several women that I've been on the call with in the last couple of weeks are like, well, this is really great. I'm all in. I'm ready to work on myself and really move into that next level of my career and get promoted. Let me come back after my holidays, or let me start in September or October when things have calmed down a little bit. But here's the problem. It's not only that you're likely doing that with your own personal growth and development, but I could almost guarantee 100% you're doing the same in your own leadership, because how you do one thing is how you do things in all areas of your life. So if you're finding yourself, hey, I'm delaying a decision, or I'm staying quiet because I don't have enough information yet, it's not quite ready yet, or you speak up after the meeting instead of during the meeting, shaping the direction of the meeting, then I can almost guarantee you're invisible as a potential leader and as a potential person to get promoted in the fall or in Q4 or in 2026. And unless you make a decision to do something different, nothing's changing. Even if you were to wait until after the summer, it's still not going to change because you're still going to take the same actions, hoping for a different result or lack of actions in this case. So here's what I want you to think about, or this is what is really happening often, what I hear, right, is you tend to create the strategy, you've laid it all out, you've thought about it, but your boss is taking somebody else's pitch and their strategy that they're suggesting more seriously than yours because, well, you really didn't bring anything to the table. I, at one point, was working with a client and she's like, oh, if I have to do an update on our monthly leadership call, I get on and off of that call as quickly as I possibly can. I just share exactly what got done, and then I'm done. Well, that's not showcasing any kind of leadership. That is simply showcasing that you're a reliable fixer, that you're reliable for execution, but doesn't show any leadership capabilities. You may also find that you have like, okay, no, but I do have an idea, and you start to push back on a decision that was made or on a strategy that was coming out that got decided while you were being quiet in that meeting, or you might not even have been invited to that meeting. So now you're getting this label of being too difficult. Well, that's not, I know that doesn't feel right because you're like, I'm not difficult. I'm just sharing what I see. But you have shared it at such a point in time that it doesn't make sense for other people. They can't follow your perspective anymore because you've been waiting and overthinking in the background. Or you find yourself speaking last. Now, this is what was always one of my favorite things to do. I'm like, okay, well, let me see what everybody else is thinking, and then I can chime in with my idea and my strategy. That way, I know it's not too far out left field, and won't be stepping on anyone's toes. Blah blah blah. Except a lot of the times I found is like, I was waiting, I had the perfect idea, and then somebody else says what I was going to, or even worse, when I finally said it, people weren't paying any more attention. And then one of my colleagues would pick up on it and they would say it again 5 minutes later, but they said it louder, they said it with more presence. And all of a sudden, it is the best idea since sliced bread. And you're like, hold on a minute, I talked about that. So when you're in this overthinking mode, in this refining mode, in this, just give me some more information, your leadership is invisible. It's non-existent. And it isn't because you haven't got great results. It isn't because you're not driven enough, or you're not ambitious enough. But it's because you've chosen that you need more security, more, almost like that 100%. If I got 100% of the information, I can make the perfect decision. But there is no perfect decision. There is simply making a decision. Because when you're trying to get like 100% clarity in the information, collect 100% of the information, you're always going to miss on something. And leading isn't having 100% of the information and then making a decision. It is about making sure that you are making those decisions. So when I work with my clients, and every single bold move I have seen my clients make, whether that's a huge career leap, whether that is having that conversation and really addressing like their salary, getting a salary increase, claiming the recognition that they have earned. It didn't start when they get 100% of all the information they needed to make a decision and take action. It started when they chose to act before that they were ready. So I want you to consider this a little bit. Think of it in a way of like, your leadership and how you show up as a leader should be like a flashlight. Stick with me here for a second, because in terms of a flashlight, it's not going to show you the entire path to your goal, but it will be enough to show the next step. And then it is for you to also trust in your own ability and your own experience that the outcome of your decision, you can then, whether it's positive or negative, you are capable enough of then, with that new information, making a new choice, making a new decision. So here's what I would love for you to decide, if you're watching this video right now, or if you're watching the replay, here are 3 quick shifts I want you to decide on today by the end of this video. Okay? Because if you are truly that leader and you really are that strategic partner, that strategic leader for your organization, and that is your ambition to grow into, claiming your seat at the table, being part of the big decisions, really driving impact in your organization, then these are the decisions that you need to make right now. The first one is decide to be seen on purpose. Too many of the women I speak to, and oftentimes the women that come at the very beginning, when they come into the program, are waiting to be invited. They're waiting to be invited to that meeting. They're waiting to be invited to share their opinion, their ideas. They're waiting, constantly thinking like someone's going to tap you on the shoulder and go, "Hey, you must have something to say. You're ready to take that next step." except it doesn't happen. So take advantage and create your own opportunities in this. So what does that look like? Well, don't just walk into a meeting with a great idea in your head going like, I'm going to wait for that perfect moment to speak up. This can already start before the meeting. Talk to the people that are going to be in the meeting with you. Share your idea with them in advance. It makes it so much easier in the meeting itself than to share your idea as well. So that's the first decision. Decide to be seen on purpose. Number 2, stop trying to get it right. So there is no 100%. Your goal isn't there to be perfect. It's about making it relevant, tying it to the strategy, tying it to the goals of your organization. So for example, if you've got an idea, you can say, well, this idea supports our Q3 growth priorities by addressing the market, the sales funnel, etc., right? Just whatever points it is. It's not perfect yet. And here is what the first actions that I see we could take. So again, it's not about making it 100% right or 100% perfect. It's about making sure that it is strategically aligned, that it's relevant to the organization. So that's the second decision. The third decision, act like the seat at the table is already yours. So I want you to start framing your ideas as if you already are a strategic partner. So rather than saying, well, here's my department's HR plan. Okay, great. That doesn't show any ownership on your part. That doesn't showcase either or imply any kind of leadership from your side. But here's what you could say instead. Well, here's what we can do to reduce the risk, build trust, and deliver on our stakeholder promises. And then you outline the actions. Now, there's lots more ways that you could do this. Position yourself here as well. Inside the accelerator, of course, got the really powerful technique of the boardroom whisper technique. But this is a third decision for you to make. Act like the seat is yours. So to sum it up, here's what I want you to remember. Waiting for everything to be 100% perfect is going to keep you stuck. The real problem isn't your lack of information. It's the fear of being wrong, fear of being judged, and fear of sounding like you're not good enough, you're not ready enough, you're not strategic enough. Essentially fill in the blank, whatever that fear is for you. And that is what's going to keep you invisible. So take action, because with each new decision and the action that follows, you create insight and you get more information, which leads you to another decision. It is going to, the faster you do this, the faster you come to an outcome that you're looking towards. And again, I want you to, by the end of, we're going to wrap up this video in another minute or two, but here are the 3 really powerful decisions you can make right now today. 1 is to decide to be seen on purpose. 2 is stop trying to get it right and start making it strategically aligned. Number 3, act like the seat at the table is already yours. Now, if this hits home, and if you're watching going, I don't want to admit that, that's okay. That is what my DMs are for. If this really hits the spot where you're like, oh my God, Kim, I'm still doing this. If you're done with that overthinking, with that spinning around and mulling over decisions, trying to perfect even just your PowerPoint slide to present the strategy, whether you're waiting in the dark, one of the clients that I have worked with in the first half of this year, she was perfecting our strategy without ever talking about it with anybody else in the organization, which was leading to her boss coming in with all kinds of ideas of how to, the strategies that needed to be applied and that needed to be executed, and what was the strategic direction for the organization and also for her division. And she was getting very frustrated because she's like, this isn't working. Like, I've got a whole strategy. But because she was perfecting it, she was continuously working on it without ever communicating anything about it. It just looked like nothing was happening. And then others didn't see her as a leader. So if you are still waiting, then this is your moment to make a decision and to move. Now, I've got two invitations for you. The first is I have a strategic leadership brainstorm. It's a live session this Thursday at 1:30 Central European Time, which if I translate back is 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of you in the US. And this is a live session with me. So this is where I'm going to walk you through so that you know exactly what you can shift so that your leadership gets taken seriously before any of the decisions for Q3 are made without you or Q4. And my second invite for you is if you want to raise the bar in terms of how you're perceived in the organization, to gain that recognition, to know how to speak up in such a way that other people or that your strategic your senior leaders are going to listen to you, how you can position yourself as a senior strategic leader, then I have a 6-week sprint that is going to be starting on July 8th called the Visibility Glow Up. And you can start there. It's a fantastic starting point for you because you'll know what to do, how to show up, when to speak, and how to get on the radar for your key decision makers, all without having to work harder or explain yourself even more. And the best part, you're going to have the actions every week, and that'll take you only 50 minutes a day. I mean, really, it's a no-brainer. So if you want to know more about about my visibility glow up, then DM me glow up or comment on the post here, glow up, and I will send over the details. So for right now, biggest thing is make a decision. Stop waiting for more information. Stop trying to figure out, hey, what am I going, how do I figure this? How do I figure this out? And I'm going to ask so and so for more information. I'm going to ask that person for more information. Wait a minute, there's some research here I want to be doing because all of that is keeping you stuck and keeping you invisible. And that overthinking isn't positioning yourself as leadership potential or leadership material for that next senior leadership role. All that is doing is positioning you as like, hey, they're a very reliable worker. All right. I would love it. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments, pop them in, like just DM me your questions. I look at every single one of them and I respond to them personally as well. So I would love to hear what's coming up for you. And we'll talk to you all again soon.